Hey, Tony Gasson here popping in. Want to talk to you today about, if you take an ex back. Now, this is really important because this happens a lot, where people want to move on and then you decide to come back together and you get back together. And I wrote a chapter on this in my book, Make It Work, on forgiveness. And you got to understand this because there's two sides to it. So if you're the person that the offense happened to, so it happened to you and maybe you left and you tried to move on and then you decided to come back. When it comes down to forgiveness, I did a video the other day talking about, never take him back and I talked about if things were physical, never take them back. Now that is understood that you may not be able to take them back if it was verbal or emotional. A lot of people felt the need to make that point, but I was saying the non-negotiable because people make their own choices on what they can handle, what they can deal with. That's to every person. So if a person is verbally abusive, emotionally, physically, all of it's going to run you in the ground. All of it's going to break you down. But the one that could end you a whole lot faster is physical. So I made that video to say that this is the one that you never take someone back because of all the implications that go inside of there. With emotional and verbal, it's subjective and there's a lot of nuances to it. Because somebody could say, why do you keep eating? Why do you do that to yourself? Why do you keep eating Popeyes every day? Like every single day you're eating Popeyes. Like that is gross. That is disgusting. A person could say, oh, you're verbally abusing me because I'm eating Popeyes, when really that could be them loving you, saying, listen, you hurting yourself, but it hurts your feelings because you get called out. So that's why I say the other issues, verbal and emotional, like a man could look at, you could be out and about and your man, every time you out and about, it looks like he's looking at other women. And you like, wow, you keep looking at these other booties. That's emotional abuse. And so you could feel like that. But then it's like at the end of the day, is that really going to put you 6 feet under? And if it is, then that's when you have to be able to say, let me get coaching, let me get therapy, because I'm internalizing him looking in the direction or looking at other women way too much. And that should not determine how I feel about myself. So let me do some work here. But, some people want to be, self-righteous and, oh, emotional is the same, just as bad as physical, and verbal is just as bad. But it's subjective, though. It's not where it's physical. Ain't nobody saying, oh, that was a love tap. Ain't nobody saying, that wasn't any, that didn't mean anything. That's not subjective. That's not, everybody knows what that is. But it's some things to where sometimes I've noticed as a coach, what people call verbal abuse or what they call emotional abuse may not actually be that. So it depends. That's where you want to go sit, talk to a professional about this, feel it out, and then make a decision. Okay, am I looking at this right? Am I seeing this right? And do I get gone? So when you go back, and this is the thing, what's understood doesn't need to be explained. Like a lot of the stuff I say, 90% of the stuff I say, I shouldn't have to say. So I shouldn't have to say it, but it's not common sense. Some people would call it common sense, but if it was common sense, then it wouldn't need to be said. It's uncommon sense. But I don't really go down every single avenue, because I'm only talking to you for an hour. It'll take 4 hours, 8 hours. Like, you didn't live all these years and you still foggy on love and relationships. So understand, I'm not going to be able to hit every single aspect in an hour video when you've been here decades and still learning. Understand that. And some people don't really get that when they're watching the video. But what you got to realize is it's a lot of people who take people back for things that we don't feel they should have taken them back for. And so that's where I have to speak to. I can't just be like, in the work that I do, it's not my place to say, listen, never ever go back. And if you do, I'm cutting you off. So my job as a relationship coach is help protect you in whatever choice you make. So, and I'm going to give it to you real, but I can't, it may not be that specific because I'm talking to thousands of people here, not just you and your situation, and I don't know your situation. So the other issue when you hear these videos is don't just take a video and try to make it fit you, because it's not one size fits all. And a lot of people make that mistake because they're being cheap and they don't want to pay for a coaching session. So they take a video and they try to apply something and totally misunderstood what was being said, and it upends their life. So you have to seek professional help. Now, yes, I am a professional, but I'm not addressing your situation specifically. I'm speaking generally. So some of it may apply and some of it may not, because there's caveats and nuances in every situation. So understand that before you make this huge decision in your life, make sure you sit down and you talk with a professional to talk this out, to make sure that you truly are hearing what you think you're hearing and you're thinking what you think you are thinking. Now, this is the thing. You are grown. So, as they say, it's unfair for people to tell you just leave, because it may not be something that you can just leave. You may feel like, listen, we have children together, we got a house together, we've been together more than a decade. What happened, it hurt me, but I can get over it, I can handle it. In whatever area that offense may be in, you make that decision. So if you make that decision, then here's what you have to understand about forgiveness. If you choose to forgive somebody, then you have to stop reminding them of the offense. If you choose to forgive, that means that you are loving them as if you've never been hurt before. So if you can't do that, then you should not be taking the person back. If you got to take somebody back and you want your cake and eat it too, meaning you miss the person, you miss them, you love them, so you don't want to go through the heartache and the pain of getting over them, so you want to be back with them, but then you want them to be a prisoner to their past. You want them to lick between your toes and to cook you food every day and to cater to you, endlessly, and just serve you and worship your pain and your insecurity and your unforgiveness. That's not how forgiveness works. And if you know anything about the Holy Bible, then you've read in the Holy Bible where it talks about forgiveness and how it says, when God forgives you, he throws it into the sea of forgetfulness and remembers it no more. That is the essence of forgiveness. So this really is where it comes down to, from the rooter to the tutor. That don't mean nothing right here. Just want to put that in there. Sounded good. But this is really what it comes down to. You got to look at this thing and say, can I take this person back and not remind him or her of the offense? If the answer is no, then you have not done the work to heal, or it is irreconcilable, or that person is not the person for you. That's what you have to understand. And that's hard to understand sometimes because you say, well, that's not fair. If he cheated on me, he needs to be kissing my butt. He needs to be explaining to me every day why he did what he did. No, that's not a relationship because love keeps no score. Love doesn't remind the person of the wrong that they did. Love suffers the wrong, but it remembers no wrong. So if you're going to stay, then you have to stay as if nothing ever happened. If you can't do that, then you need to move on with your life because that means too much damage has been done and it can't be repaired with this person. And that's the unfair part about it. Now, on the flip side, the person that's being forgiven, that person should be an open book. That person should be rebuilding trust, building a rapport with you all over again. So that's also a sign. Does this person want to be an open book, roll out the red carpet? If the person was cheating, he or she was cheating, does he or she want to share passwords now? Be open and honest, direct, be all the way out there. Now, if that person doesn't want to do that, then that's a sign for you. But at the same time, it's not fair to the forgiver, to the one who's being forgiven, to remain a prisoner. Because it's like this. If someone does the crime, they do the time. When they do the time, they are free. They can go. You don't have to sit behind bars anymore. You don't have to eat prison food anymore. You don't have to work on the chain gang anymore. You're free to go about your life. So when you forgive someone, you free them of the prisoner of their past. They're no longer a prisoner of their past. They are free from that. So what you do is you have to give them trust again. See, trust is earned, but trust is also given. So you have to give them trust again, because if they are earning your trust, they will never truly earn your trust, because the position of power that you'll be put in when they're trying to get your trust back, that position of power, you will abuse that power because you will get coddled. You will be lulled to sleep. You will be spoiled with him or her coming and handing you their phone and letting you read through all their text messages, read all their DMs, read all their inboxes, letting you plug up to the phone so that they're on your iCloud, so that all their messages come into your computer. You'll get spoiled with this overstepping of boundaries and this no privacy and this no respect and this no trust, and they are a prisoner to their past. Now, you can lock somebody down in reality when they've committed a crime that deserves jail or prison time, but in real life, you won't be able to have a prisoner in real life. That person will eventually revolt. They will eventually break free. And so if you are trying to be a warden and run a prison in your relationship, or be a slave master and run a plantation in your relationship, eventually you're going to meet Nat Turner. Eventually you're going to meet Harriet Tubman. Eventually it's going to be an uprising. And it's going to be some furniture moving, because that person is going to get fed up of being a prisoner to their past, as if you've never told a lie or made a mistake. You maybe have even cheated. You may have done some things that you were never caught for. So now you being a hypocrite and you holding them to the fire because you caught them. But you did just as bad or worse or just as much, but just in a different way, in a different area, but you were smarter about it and you weren't caught. So now you being a hypocrite. Now you are ruining your relationship from the inside out. You breaking it down. You stealing what y'all have. So that's what you got to understand on this here thing, is that when you choose to forgive, now it takes two. And I have a video about if you want to get her back. I think I'm talking to the man. If you want her back, or how to get your woman back. So check that video out for the flip side of it, when you the one that did the wrong and you trying to get back in good graces. And that could be inverted and used for a woman as well, if you the one who did wrong and trying to get back in good graces. So the person who did the wrong, they really imprison themselves. They really imprison themselves. But the person who is forgiving, you giving them the key to say, listen, I'm not going to keep you in prison. I appreciate you caring enough to rebuild the rapport, to rebuild trust, and to be an open book. I appreciate that. I respect that. It lets me know that you want to make this work. And so what I'm going to do is meet you halfway. And here go your walking, here's go your freedom key, so that you don't have to live like that. I'm going to give you enough rope to help yourself, or the opposite. And that's what you have to do. You give the person trust. My daddy taught me this. He said you have to love as if you've never been hurt before. You give the person trust. And then what happens is you see what they do with your trust. If they go back out and do the same thing, eventually they're going to get messy, and you're going to catch them up in it. And now you're going to know you didn't appreciate the grace that I gave you. You took the grace for granted. I'm gone. But it's so much more freedom and power in that stance than you being a prisoner yourself in your mind, because you feel like you always got to be checking and following up behind them and checking them and watching them and snooping and spying. You always got to be doing that. So now your stomach is hurting every day. Your head is hurting every day. And then you bumping into stuff and you finding stuff, and it's not really nothing. It's not much, but it's something. And so now you reading into it. Now you wondering if he talking in a code language. Now you wondering if mom in the phone is actually mom and not Lisa that he used to be sleeping with. Now you wondering if this really his homeboy under this name, or if this a woman, or if this is his homeboy. Now, is he gay? Does he like men now? So now you going through all of this because you want to keep a tight leash on him, and you want to be the warden of the prison. And now y'all can't even enjoy love. You can't even take a vacation without arguing, because you still bringing up the past. And then the person that is asking for forgiveness and trying to make it work, what's going to happen is he or she starts to resent you, and you start to push them away instead of y'all building and coming closer. They start to get pushed away. They start to resent you, and they start to flip their mindset. And instead of being remorseful, now they almost becoming resentful and revengeful. And they're like, you know what? Since you're going to treat me like a prisoner, since you're going to treat me like a cheater, since you're going to hold me to the fire like that, I'm finna make sure you get burned. I'm finna dog you out. I'm finna learn how to cheat on a whole nother level, just so I could win this here battle. Since you want to treat me like this, like I'm your lapdog, instead of, forgiving me and growing up and letting us live in peace and in love, that person will start to resent you. And now you're going to have to pay another price. And so this is the thing. This is what you got to understand. I'm going to cut this short today just because I got to coach here in a little bit. But this is what you got to understand. Is love is a gamble. So when you trying to love somebody, when you trying to be in a relationship, you taking a chance. There are no guarantees. And that's the thing, that's the issue with humans, is we want guarantees. Before we put ourselves out on the limb, we want guarantees. And that's just not life. You're gonna have to walk out on that limb and it might snap and you're going to have to grow wings on the way down, or you're just going to have to take that landing. Might break a leg, might break something else, but you live to see another day, or you lose it all. But that's what life is. It's taking chances. So what you got to realize is you can't say, well, I don't want to drop my guards and just fully trust, because what if he hurts me again? That's a part of it. That's a part of working on a relationship. The things that you need to do to help avoid that is evaluate character. So you see this person has low character, low morals, then now you know the chances of him breaking your heart is very likely. It's a high possibility. But if you see this person is full of character, full of integrity, full of just all of the good, then now you know if the root is good, the fruit gonna be good. Now you know I could trust this person. And that's what you got to realize. That's what you got to come to. And that's our problem. In every aspect of life, we fear giving 100% because we fear it not working out. We fear not getting 100 in return. Me and my wife, we were just randomly looking at houses, and we saw this house and we were thinking about moving in, and we looking at, and my wife, she was like, well, before we get into this bidding war and counter offering and all of that, let's ask the realtor, how good of a chance do we have on closing, on the lending side of things? And she wanted that assurance, like, before we get all the way into this. And really the lender, like, listen, you just got to walk by faith. You got to submit, you got to negotiate on this, and you might come to a price. You might put in your deposit and the lending might fall through. The bank might back out. You get your deposit back, you got to go on about your life. That's life. That's life. Do you say, well, I'm not going to do my hair for this interview. I'm not going to brush my teeth for this interview. I'm not going to drive this interview because I don't know if I'm going to get the job. No, you do your hair, you brush your teeth, you gas up your car, you get your best outfit, and you go do the interview. And guess what? Might not get the job. Now you done waste time, you done waste money, and now you got to do this 10 times over, 50 times over. And every time you got to bring the same energy, because the 50th time might be the dream job of a lifetime. But if you gave less enthusiasm and less effort on that 50th time, you're going to miss the job that could have changed your life. The same thing applies to love and relationships. The same thing applies to every chance you give a relationship. If you want to go back to a relationship, but you're giving less trust and less energy and less love than the time you did before, just because you got hurt the last time, now you definitely finna get hurt. Now you definitely finna lose, because in order for it to work out, it's gonna take 100%. And if you cannot give 100%, you got to get out the kitchen. You got to go on about your business. Point blank period. You got to go on about your business. So understand this. And a lot of women, y'all, and men too. Now listen, I'm gonna tell you this. I'm talking to a woman, but if you the woman and you did the offense on the man, you better go on about your business. You finna be in for it. Like, you think women don't forgive? You think women be wanting to know the ifs, ands, and buts about it for years to come? Mess around and cheat on a man. You finna be on first 48 every 72 hours. He putting you on first 48. 48 hours out there 72. You in that chair, in that white room, with that little bit of drink, sitting there answering questions. Every 48 hours out of every 72 hours, you in there getting. So now, let me ask you this. Okay. Say this bottle is you. Okay. Say this can is him. Okay. What you did. You finna be getting interrogated over and over. So let me tell you, like men don't really forgive now. Woo! If you got a man that's forgiving you, that you didn't cheat on this man, and this man treat you like a queen now, like he don't remember, make sure I meet that man. Like some kind of way, come to a book signing, do a coaching session. Make sure I meet that man that have forgiven you wholeheartedly and not reminded you of your offense. Make sure I meet that man. Cause listen, I'm gonna have to put that man in the Smithsonian Museum. You hear me? Cause that ain't something men do. Now, and with women, a lot of women don't forgive either. And that's the thing. But a lot of women take men back more than men take women back. Men are a lot more strict on their relationship deal breakers. Women take men back a whole lot more at a much higher rate. But then you want to take the man back, then you want to be interrogating them. And then you got a question, and you ask the same question every week in 10 different ways. So what about her are you attracted to? Really? Really? What is her degree in? Oh my goodness. So what is it about that degree that you like a communications degree over my social work degree? That's what turned you on? You like her 2017 Camry over my 2015 BMW? So like, what is it? So her dimples, is that what you like? Because I don't have dimples and she has dimples. And so you asking all these questions and you just going, okay, I need you to tell me exactly what happened from A to Z. Because I was just looking. Give me 1 second. The last time we talked, today is June 16th. When I asked you June 8th, I wrote in my diary, June 8th, you told me that you met her on February 1st at 4:35 after you got off work. That's what you told me. But then when I asked you on May 16th, you said that you met her at 6 p.m. So now the man like, listen, okay, listen, all right. He done forgot which lie he done told you. But because you playing Matlock, because you Sherlock Holmes, because every week you want to do another interrogation. Where are y'all getting? You see, the reason why he keep telling you little white lies is because if you can't swallow the little lie, you definitely gonna choke over the big truth, the whole truth. So he trying to spare you. So it's like, if you want to be there, then just be there. Okay, say, listen, I'm going to forgive and I'm going to love. Because no human is perfect. That's the angle you got to take. And if you don't want to take that angle, oh, Tony, oh my goodness, you telling me that I cannot question a man when I take him back? I'm not saying you can't question him. I'm saying, but you can't keep questioning him every week, every month, every 6 months. Y'all never going to live it down. You never going to get past it. You starting the relationship all over again. So if you got that many questions, then you need to interrogate him one real good long time. And then you need to make a decision. Am I going to leave or am I going to stay? And if you going to stay, then you need to let it go. And that's one thing about my wife. That's one thing about this woman here. Woman's influence. And that's what helped change my life. I did stupid stuff early on in our relationship. Not like, she caught me cheating, sleeping with a woman or nothing like that. Not like that. But just stupid stuff. And went back to the street life. She had to check me. Sent a Facebook message she felt was borderline, too over the line. Little stuff like that. That she had to check me. And when she checked me, she could have kept reminding me over and over. I took you back after this. Or you did that. Remember when you did that? She checked me on it. We talked about it. I apologized. I said I'm going to change. I never heard about it again. Never heard about it again. She just anything. Now, only stuff she'll say one or two more times is if we had a disagreement and I said something that she felt was a little too harsh. She might remind me about that by one time. But after she get that one time in, and when she do it with a laugh. She do it with a joke. She don't do it with tears. She not crying or nothing like that. But yeah, cause you think this. I remember what you said, and she'll do it like that. She'll get that one time out. So understand this. Now you got some grace. This not a one size fits all. This not to say y'all can't sit down and talk about it. This not to say that you can't have two conversations about it. What I'm saying is you can't make this a regular thing to where you harping on this every month. Or the event has an anniversary that you every year you throwing a birthday party for his offense. You know what today is, don't you? Oh, you're gonna play dumb? Look at the calendar. You don't remember what today is? And he's like, what are you talking about? It's not your birthday. It's not our anniversary. Like, what are you talking about? So we want to play dumb. 6 years ago, today, you call that other H-O. You see what I'm saying? So now you done gave the event an anniversary. So now the man done wrote books. The man, he done did 12 sessions with me. The man, a life coach on my mentor.life. The man done changed his life. The man done moved on. Or the woman, invert this if it's the other way around. And you still celebrating the anniversary of his dumb choice. That's what I mean. That's not forgiveness. That's prison. And that's what you cannot have if you're going to have a relationship. So if you take him back, you need to make sure that your heart can handle it. And now listen, before you go twisting my words, so you telling me that I need to take a man back after he cheat? After he beat on me? After he cussed me out? No, I'm not telling you to take anybody back. I ain't telling you to take anybody back. Don't put no words in my mouth. What I'm telling you is that if you take him back, then you need to take him back. Don't take him back and then have him be a prisoner to his past mistakes. So if you cannot move on without keep bringing it up, and if you cannot give your heart and all your love, taking a risk of being hurt again and having to walk away for good if you get hurt again, if you cannot do that, that means that it is irreconcilable and you need to move on with your life. There's too much damage done, and it's time for you to close this relationship, begin your healing process, and move on with your life. Hey, this is Tony Gaskins. I only got 30-something minutes in me today. I feel like these lights are a little too bright on me today, or maybe I just finished eating, so maybe I'm trying to hold this stomach in, and it got me short of breath, so I feel like I'm about to float away like old helium balloon, trying to keep this stomach in. So I got to go because I could barely breathe. So let me go on, close this out right here. Listen back to this again if you want, hoping to get your hour in. Listen to this twice and just hear me what I'm telling you, because if you're not going through this right now, you may go through this in the future. And it's something that you really need to learn about. And so get this in your spirit on forgiveness. And if you're the one who created the offense, go through all my videos and look for the other video on if you're trying to get the person back. Hey, this is Tony Gasson. God bless you. We'll talk soon.